That's one of the cannons they're going to shoot tonight. 14th, 15th century cannon. Quite rare in Italy. The only ones to actually use cannons in those last years of the 1400 or the 1300s, sorry, were the Venetians who made their own cannons. But again, there were nations purchasing cannons from abroad and using them for their mercenary companies, like the German-based mercenary company who's coming to help us tonight in the battle against the Venetians. So if you see the cannons tonight in battle, just know that at the time they will be shouting in German. Artillery in the 1300s was something that was used as a defensive mechanism, not as an offensive weapon. And since it was so expensive and since it was so expensive, people just stored that in their treasury just to show it off. Although they already had artillery regiments trained to use artillery and cannons. Those you see over there, those are loaded charges, a wee bit of gunpowder, just because tonight they're shooting flaming arrows at the castle, and we have to show that the castle caught fire.
Mighty. Che significa? Allora, il nome suo sarebbe Almighty, onnipotente.
Lovely. So these are some of the horses that are going to come down on the battlefield tonight. And the guy, he basically does choreographic fights with the horse. And we just chat a bit about a guy in Middle Italy, in Tuscany, whose project was to breed horses in order to recreate the actual stallions used in medieval warfare. So we're talking about 500 to 700 kilos of pure muscles in stallions, and nothing. It's just lovely to see a horse. Okay, so medieval reenactment is actually not just booze and beating the living shit out of each other. That's the 90%. The other 10% is drinking water because they don't want you to get too drunk before the battle. And also, this shows here that they're going to put in action tonight. Now they're just, trying everything else and making sure that everyone knows its position. And I don't know, I just like to see horses working, with a knight, with a person caring for them. That's nice. So it's gonna be very choreographic, very scenic, nothing real. They're not actually jousting tonight, but it always gives you that effect, that feeling of looking at something that you don't see every day, and I don't know, it takes you back in time when you were a child and you used to go to Renaissance fairies or to see a medieval movie, and then you see the horses and you're like, yeah, that's the kind of feeling I get every time I see horses in a medieval reenactment. I just realized, it's beautiful to see horses, brings you back in time with memories, etc. But we have to fight on foot on that battlefield, meaning that we don't just have to worry about, the blows coming from our enemy, but also about the horse shit. And if you're dying, we also have to care about the horse shit. Fuck. Okay, we tried to access the castle earlier, but we found the door shut from the other side. We're trying from the battlefield side. Hopefully we will get up there. Hopefully, because it's not technically allowed, but we are reenactors, we're guests here, we have a camera, we have to shoot videos, so we're using this excuse to, you know, access the top levels of the castle. Not the tower, but just the walls. So let's try our luck. Let's try and see if we can go up there. Yeah, another thing they told us before the battle, during the trials, is that when we all have to come in here, horses are also coming inside the castle. So while we eat and raid all the leftovers from the feast, we also have to care about horse shite. I mean, I've been in my fair share of shitty situations, but this is gonna be very shitty. And I don't know if you are aware of a horse shite. It's good, it's big, it's very big. Okay, so basically I just found that we actually can go up there. Good. So I don't know what part of the castle this is. I believe this was one of the main chambers, maybe for the Lord, or for, you know, the people serving the Lord, probably, because I don't see any particular painting on the walls or anything that can help us understand what type of chamber this was. Could be an empty chamber. I just know that there are clothes over there, so people are changing, and we're basically not allowed to go in there. And you can see a bit of the battlefield from here. And if you take a look also at this particular window, the section here, the inside section is way larger than the actual window. Why is that? Because if I have to use a crossbow, carry stuff to be thrown outside of the window, or use a bow to defend the castle, then I have all this room to move around with a crossbow or any other projectile weapon. So we are now on the walls of the castle, and one thing you're going to see in medieval castles around Italy is that they have these walls shaped in different ways. They have like this just regular squared block like this, or they can have like a swallowtail. And why is that? That is to recognize if a castle supported either the Pope or the Emperor. In the 14th century, sorry, there were these two main factions in Italy, the Guelfi and the Ghibellini. The Guelfi were supporting the Pope, and they had the swallowtail shape of this on these walls, while the Ghibellini, who supported the Emperor, had these square blocks made of all of bricks to identify themselves as supporters of the Emperor. The window I showed you before, we have the same style here, but on a smaller scale. So if we were attacked, I would just stay here with my crossbow and just shoot darts on the battlefield. And again, I have this room to get my crossbow here and start picking my targets. But the most interesting thing is that from here we can take a look. It's a very good section of the camps. We have our camps over there. Then we have the Tolunga and the other guys that I don't remember the name. And over here we have the battlefield with the horses still trying their maneuvers. And then the Aviate di Ventura and the Knights of the Dragon Company. So we're basically on the sun always, because the sun setting but we are still hit by the sunlight. While the Ariete di Ventura and the Knights of the Dragon and the Burundi, or Girundi, I don't remember, they are in the shade because they're protected by trees, and so they're having a nice time. They're not in the hot light of the sun like we are, so we're basically crisping ourselves, and they're refreshing the bollocks in the shade. So as I told you before, we don't just have to worry about the blows from our enemies or, you know, pole axes being swung on our noses or, you know, the fucking flaming arrows, but we also have to worry about the fucking horse shade, for fuck's sake. The bloody horse shade, and we have to walk through here. Calabria moment. Alla prossima vedi i vetri che si infrangono. So, you want to start historical reenactment and you want to piss off everyone, get one of these, a hunting horn, guaranteed even your own company will want to skin you alive. Trust me, you want to piss off people even more, get a bagpipe. Okay, after we pissed everyone off with, you know, hunting horns and bagpipes and flutes, now it's time to refresh our throats. We're heading to a meat bar, and we're basically running on the 3 trials because we don't want to spend 20 euros on a bottle when we already have, oh my god, new hunting horns, but this time they also have the mouthpiece, so they're even louder. But do I really need them? Not today. Noi siamo proprio la compagnia della molestitudine. Se un giorno fondiamo la compagnia nostra, noi saremo i cavalieri del cromosoma, ragazzi. Una X sul nostro scudo. Calabria moment. Okay, so the Calabria moment is this. Poi devo passare al campo vostro, dobbiamo commemorare per Kaczynski. 3-3-6, perfetto. Grazie mille. Che ora c'è la battaglia? Alle 10. Ma vedo che ha capito!
alla Calabria!
Lo sapete che c'è stata una ragazza dell'associazione culturale Scaligeri che è calabrese, se l'è presa per sta roba?
Sì! C'ero anch'io quando te l'ha detto.
No. Che io le ho risposto, beh, che vuol dire? Io sono ebreo e faccio battute sugli ebrei, che non è vero un cazzo. So it's 9 p.m. and battle is at 10 p.m. but you're basically getting ready to